Section 5 is about launch options, reviewing the pros and the cons. So here is starting your business from scratch. Here are the pros and here are the cons. And I'm not going to read all of these. Now, this is also found in your book, but there is the pros and cons of starting your business from scratch. You can pause it and look over this, but I'm not going to read all these. And here are the pros and cons for buying an established business. And most of these are pretty much make sense, but I would definitely read over these. And if you're considering any of these, this will help you. And then a franchise. That's the pros and cons of a franchise. So you can read over these, pause it if you need to, or look in your textbook. The Small Business Administration is an agency of the federal government, and it's designed to maintain and strengthen the nation's economy. And the way that it does this is it counsels, assists, protects the interests, and provides resources to small businesses. And I also want to mention that it does work with individual states. So it works with these states to fund the local Small Business Development Center. And this helps entrepreneurs develop their concepts, provide consultations on their business plans, and also helps them with their loan applications. So you may want to look into that. It's called the Small Business Development Centers. These are local. And then on the federal level, it's the Small Business Administration. So here are some strategies for long-term success. Definitely gain experience and try to talk to others that have their own business. Educate yourself. And then here are some agencies that provide resources. Like I mentioned earlier, SBDCs. And then the Service Corps of Retired Executives. And this is affiliated with the SBA. They provide free comprehensive business counseling for small business owners from qualified volunteers. So you may want to research SCORE. All right, let's talk about the business plan. So to develop a business plan, it's a formal document, and it's going to describe your business concept. It's going to outline your core objectives and detail strategies and timelines. So the business plan will include the following. It's your executive summary, descriptions of business, complete financial data and plan, and then the appendix. A business plan executive summary is usually 2 to 3 pages. And this description of the business is going to include an assessment of both risk and opportunities. It's also going to include in the business description the description of marketing, competition, operating procedures, and personal aspects. It's important to be realistic about the financial portion of the plan. Be sure that you include the source of startup funding here. And then the appendix is going to include industry research and data sources that investors may want to reference. So those are your parts of your business plan. All right, so here's something to think about. If you were to launch a new business, would you do A, B, or C? I know most students prefer the idea of starting from scratch. Even though it is the higher risk, it's very appealing for you to start from scratch because you can go with your own concept. The last section is titled Small Business and the Economy and Outsized Impact. So small businesses make up 99.9% of U.S. businesses. And small businesses have all of these advantages here. It's very important that we do have entrepreneurs. This is the ones that are creative and help bring about new ideas. In lower income countries, a high percentage of people become necessity entrepreneurs because they need it to make a living. Have you ever been somewhere on vacation, maybe on a cruise or something, and you meet a lot of the local people and they hand make things? That's an example of a necessity entrepreneur. They're making a living. They're making things to sell to make a living. Here are key factors that influence the rates of entrepreneurship. You see that the rate of necessity entrepreneurship declines in higher income countries. And the United States and Japan would be examples of high income countries. And entrepreneurs are more likely to strike out on their own in response to an opportunity that they spot in the marketplace. With employment protection benefits in place, the sense of urgency regarding entrepreneurship tends to fail. When you know that you have to make a living and no one's going to help you out if you can't find a job, then there's more of a need for this. So you really have to get creative so that you can make a living. And then entrepreneurs in more supportive nations such as the United States and New Zealand, they get a boost from limited regulation and strong governmental support. So we would be considered a supportive nation, but we're also considered a higher income country. Even though we're not in class, I would like for you to go to the SBA website and check out the sections on business opportunities and training. Then I want you to find the page for the SBA office nearest you and think about how this would be helpful for local small businesses. If you are thinking about starting a small business, please be sure that you know the resources that are out there to help you. And then this is just some questions about going to that website. The last one is a self-assessment. And I'm not going to read these, but I want you to pause it and read these questions and think about this chapter and what you've learned. Let me know if you have any questions.